Mr. Reed, I would like to thank you for coming. Board members, I'd like to thank you too. Currently, Pfizer is facing an image issue. We are the leading pharmaceutical company, but the public does not see us as that. They see us as a greedy company. They see us as someone who's more concerned about profits than about the public. Pfizer's mission is using our local presence and scale to make a difference in local communities and to the world around us. Are we doing that? We might believe we are, but what we believe does not matter. It's what society believes. It's what the world around us believes. And they do not believe we are fitting that image. A week ago, we were proposed with the idea of taking over the primary sponsorship of the Macy's Day Parade. However, after conducting some research, we determined it would not be in Pfizer's best interest to sponsor the Macy's Day Parade. Our survey showed that over 50% of people did not feel we fit the image of a company that sponsors the parade. So we came up with two proposals that we feel would be better for our company. The first is our Wellness Week program. The Wellness Week will consist of many events throughout the week that will help increase Pfizer awareness and promote wellness throughout the city. Our second is donating a hospital wing at St. Jude's Hospital, Research Hospital, which goes along with our oncology research department. Let me hand the podium over to Farazani, who's going to talk a little bit more about the concerns our company is currently having.
Hello and good evening, everyone. We here at Pfizer believe that it is extremely important for any company to gain trust and build relationships with the consumers. We have a bigger responsibility because we are a pharmaceutical company. We manufacture a wide array of drugs, and it's pretty much people's wellness and health is in our hands. We all know that back in 2009, Pfizer has paid $2.3 billion in fines for manufacturing and marketing a drug that was not FDA approved. The drug was called Bextra, and it was a painkiller. We have acknowledged and paid for our mistakes, but unfortunately, we're still paying for that mistake. Pfizer's brand image and reputation has been shattered extremely since then. So along with trust and respect, our sales have declined, as you can see right here. That is Pfizer, the blue line right there. It is very sporadic, and it has declined to about $40 million, whereas Eli and Lilly, they are actually, their sales are actually increasing, which is about almost $50 million. All the other companies right here, they're pretty much consistent with their sales. And investors don't want this. You don't want to see this. They would not be attracted to invest. If you see sporadic sales as that, you're not going to be wanting to invest. So right here, as you can see, we paid the $2.3 billion in fines for that drug Bextra back in September 2009. And we have been labeled as the worst offenders. Glaxo and Smith, they are actually on top of us, but it's still, we don't want to be labeled as the worst offenders in pharmaceutical penalties. As you can see here, Pfizer's revenue growth dropped to negative 7.51%. GlaxoSmithKline's growth is actually very well, 7.04%. And which is why we believe that we need to strategically intervene and implement new strategies that will improve our reputation. Companies such as Novartis right here, Eli Lilly, and Merck, they're actually doing really well at this point, and we need to do something in order to kind of gain our reputation back and our name back. So in order to do that, I would like to ask our CEO to take into consideration We have two proposals, and one of the proposals is Stephanie going to talk about them. So I'm going to hand it over. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I'm going to give you a brief overview regarding the Wellness Week as well as the cost and the sponsorships of everything. So right now I'm going to show you the 4 W's of Wellness Week. This includes the what, the when, the where, and the why. I'm sorry, I don't want to. Okay, Wellness Week is going to include SoulCycle bicycle ride. This is usually something that's indoor, but we'll be hosting it outdoors. But Shayna will go into further detail about each exact thing. We're also going to be hosting a health convention if you do decide to go through with this, as well as Zumba at the Radio City Music Hall, and we would take over. The plan would be to take over from ING for the New York City Marathon. Everything would remain the same except that the sponsorship would be from us. Also, we would do yoga in the park, which the park reveals. It includes Central Park, as well as the health convention would be hosted at the Jacob Javits Center. And like I just said, the New York Central Park, and this would be the same as it was in the New York City Marathon, which includes all 5 boroughs of New York City. When? It would take place September 7th to the 11th, beginning the 2013, but obviously for each year that would occur, it would go according to the day, because it would be from Monday through Friday. Why? As it says here, it's to provide access, health and fitness activities to promote wellness and healthy living. But as much as we want to pretend that this isn't the obvious truth, we have actually had an actual article written about us labeled Death by Prescription based on heart valves that we have created and our subsidiaries have sold, and it caused more than 100 deaths. Not only that, but we've also had fines in terms of Vextra and a couple of other lawsuits where it says that we literally don't care about people's health. That's not our main priority. Our priority is supposedly the money and revenue. So we need to incorporate something that actually reveals that we actually do care about the health and wellness of consumers and the public overall. It's not a matter of how many dollars we spend or how many dollars we are making. It's the point that we want to promote the health and wellness by providing a marathon, providing things that are actually very good for a cardiovascular system, and also providing information in regards to each of our medicines and what we're really trying to say. So our sponsors are these people. I will go into them after they all load. SoulCycle is what I revealed for one of the ones that we held on Monday, which reveals like it's very good for your overall wellness, your cardiovascular. This is Lululemon. They want to sponsor us because they're very famous with the yoga attire and also yoga and promoting health and awareness. Also, Daily News wants to be involved. So most of these people are going to be involved just for not just for the sake of having their name out there, but just because they actually do care for the cause as well. So NBC will have the reporters there. Nike, as we all know, is a great company to have behind us, and they're willing to, sponsor us all the way. Also, each of these companies has agreed to provide a minimum of 10 employees if we do need that for staff. And our budget is going to be $200 million for 10 years. So the way it's going to be split is it'll be $20 million, which would this would be plus sponsorships for a period of 10 years. So like I said, this will include, the sponsorships include staffing, like I said, with 10 employees, and also food and drink, which I couldn't fit in the previous slide. Deer Park and Luna Bar are going to be promoting and sponsoring our events and providing beverages and food for people that go with their exercise regimen. The course expenses, many people as well as small boutiques from the surrounding boroughs will be donating their time as well, in compensation for advertisement. So they will be donating and giving courses throughout the day at different times. And that would actually go with the fact that the event would take place from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., allowing people that work from 9 to 5 to be able to make some of the activities. The advertising, like I said, it goes hand in hand with our sponsors. And security, NYPD has agreed to, provide us a lump sum of security because of the past happenings that have happened at marathons. But we do have extra money saved on the side just in case we do require extra security, which would be an extra expense. So I will now pass it to Shane, who will go into further detail about each aspect of Wellness Week.
Thank you, Steph. I'm going to get into the Wellness Week itinerary. For the first day, we were planning on having SoulCycle, a heart-pumping, full-body workout, all about cardio. On Tuesday, we're having the health convention at the Jacob Javits Center. At this convention, we want to have booths that support science and innovation. We'll have medical professionals, doctors, people talking about the new products on the market, all health related. As for Wednesday, we're having Zumba Party Fitness bring their own instructors to choreograph dance at Radio City Music Hall. Thursday, we'll have the official Pfizer New York City Marathon. And Friday, yoga to de-stress after a long week. Now, I want to ask you all a question. Who here knows who sponsors the New York City Marathon currently?
ING, because she just said it.
We want to hear that same response with Pfizer. We want Pfizer to be associated with the greatest event in New York City. And from going from an orange and blue to a blue and white, that's how we will achieve that. And because we at Pfizer are health conscious and promoting healthy choices and wellness, we think that we are the best fit. As for advertising and publicity, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, we want people to Instagram their new shoes when they're ready to come to the marathon. Social media, televised, we want this program to be known to the world. And getting young people involved in social media is the way to do that, as well as having our event televised with NBC. Now, what will this do for Pfizer? First off, it'll steer us away from controversy. We want to surround ourselves with the good and not the bad. It'll improve our image, give us a better reputation. We will intrigue investors and keep current investors. We will expect higher sales, gain respect from the medical world, doctors, scientific leaders, and establish a robust statement that we care about the people, we care about progressing science and innovation in health. Now I'm going to pass it on to Diana.
Hello. I will now discuss our next proposal. While most people, as the public majority, know Pfizer is from drugs like Viagra and Xanax and maybe Zoloft, but what they really don't know is that Pfizer right now is one of the leading companies in oncology research, actually. And we currently have an Australian-based research center purely based on oncology. So this was a slogan, "Life is our life's work," that Pfizer used in the 1990s when they were promoting drugs that we were developing for HIV. Now we want to revise this slogan again, and what is a better way to really promote life and create life than to save children's lives? And we would like to use St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and help saving children's lives. We would want to donate a hospital wing with St. Jude's that will have Pfizer's name on it. So the hospital wing will entail 300,000 square feet structure that will be 2 stories high. The structure itself will have 780 inpatient beds. Currently, St. Jude's Hospital has about half of that. So by developing a hospital wing, we will increase 10% of patients that are treated inside the hospital of St. Jude. Not only that, we will also provide new developed drugs for cancer that will be researched at the hospital as well as at Pfizer's Oncology Research Center in Australia. Now, so that you understand what the 10% increase means. Currently, St. Jude's annually helps 7,800 children. That's how many children they help each year. With the 10% increase, it will be 8,580 children. Now, St. Jude's has an 80% survival rate. That means each year, 6,864 children will have an opportunity to survive cancer, to actually have a future in their life and beat this ugly disease. So what the needs to build the hospital. We will use design-build method. This method is relatively new. What it means is that the architect works with the contractors, so it eliminates the kind of huss and puss between the two separate entities because they are grouped under one company. We will be using EHB Corporation of St. Louis. Now, EHB Corporation has done design and build methods in 1,100 hospital and hospital wings throughout the nation within the past decade and a half. So they have extensive experience in doing such methods, and they have done an incredible job. In addition, we will have $4 million allocated for the pharmaceuticals that will be provided for the hospital wing. Now, the whole project itself will cost $50 million. The $50 million, $46 million will be projected costs for the building itself. There are also some unforeseen costs, but they haven't been factored in as this graph will be improved. Now, the two-level state-of-the-art facility that we want to propose has 2 levels, as I said previously. Each level has specific designated areas. So each area, as you see in numbers, that coordinates with the floor plan. It's absolutely crucial and necessary for oncology centers. Each oncology center nationwide and worldwide that do research as well as treatment have majority of these areas designated. Now, why should we donate to St. Jude's Hospital? Well, for starters, the palbociclib. It is a medicine that we have produced last year. This medicine by the FDA was labeled as a breakthrough therapy medicine. What it means that within the next 3 years or so, FDA will approve this and will be able to put this medicine on the market. Now, the day that this medicine was announced to the public, our stock rose 2.6%, and it's only on the first day. Imagine what happens once this medicine goes into production and we start actually distributing it. So it'll obviously increase revenue for future oncology drugs that we're in process of developing as well. Not only that, by having a research center at St. Jude's, we'll also be able to use their intellectual assets for research benefits, since we can do collaboration with our oncology centers and their research centers likewise. This will raise awareness of the company oncological studies, because not a lot of people in the public view really know that Pfizer does such things as research for cancer medicine or HIV or any other terminal diseases that are really hard to go into remission of. So we really need people to recognize the fact that we don't just make these medicines, we really take time to build these medicines, to come up with them, because if we're not going to do them, they're not going to come out of thin air. We need research, we need to have professionals that are in the field to do these things. So the affiliation will obviously invoke compassion. I mean, how else can you invoke compassion than helping a helpless child that is suffering from cancer? It's an ugly disease, and it's bad not only for the patient itself, but it's really hard on the family of the patient too. And I will pass it back on to Andrea.
Before we can close, we really need to know what is the public thinking. We can tell you all our great ideas and how we want to, improve our company, but we need to know the hard facts. And the hard facts are that 67% of the people we surveyed believe that we need to improve our company's image. That's very scary. That's more than half of the people out there believe we really have to do a 180 in our image. In addition, 73% of people believe that Pfizer is to some degree uncharitable. It believes that they understand that we are the leader of pharmaceutical medicine, but they do not see us giving back. Therefore, we have to make ourselves known that we are a charitable a charitable company. However, in the darkness, there is always light, and according to our research, 94% of people believe it would be beneficial for us to donate a wing to St. Jude and improve our corporate image. In addition, 67% of people believe that sponsoring the New York City Marathon fits our corporate image. Our company thrives on being health conscious. It thrives on being a leader. We are already the leader in pharmaceutical medicine. Why not be a leader by leading by example of how companies should be responsible and should help their communities? I want to read one of our mission statements, and I want you to relate it to the two proposals you heard and see if that fits the mission. We will become the world's most valuable company to patients, customers, colleagues, investors, business partners, and to the communities where we work and live. Those two proposals we've just offered to you fit that perfectly. We want to improve our image while also improving our company. That's a win-win situation for us. We'll invest some of our time and finances to improve both our revenue and our corporate image. So I'd like to thank you for your time again tonight.
Okay, I do have a lot of questions. Oh, sorry. Thank you for the presentation. It was very helpful. There's some good ideas. So my first question is, which idea do you recommend?
Which idea? I would say that I like both of them. I think at different times we could use each one. There is no one that's better than the other one. They're different options, and they can be used at different times.
So you don't think either one is strategically more important than the other?
They're both very different in terms of strategics because when it comes down to the Wellness Week, it's for 10 years and it's a week-long process. It takes a lot more than a hospital. When you build a hospital wing, it's very long-term. The hospital wing is going to be there for at least the next 3 decades, as well as the research center will provide, a bit of a different kind of insight as opposed to the Wellness Week. So it's there are two very different kinds of proposals.
Yeah, I personally think the Wellness Week is a tougher sell to the public because we're a pharmaceutical company, no matter how you slice it.
We're a pharmaceutical company, but isn't our mission to improve patients' lives?
It is.
And it's not just on the medical side. If we improve people's lives by promoting, healthy living, isn't that also our moral obligation as a leader in the medical field?
No, I agree. We can say.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I just think it would require a lot more.
Much more,
convincing.
yes.
The hospital wing is the easier option. Let's face it. Yeah. On the hospital, why would you choose a St. Louis construction company for a New York hospital? That caused some problems.
Diana will discuss that.
Yeah. Well, the reason why it's a St. Louis hospital because that company specifically, I mentioned before in the presentation, they have done specifically hospitals and hospital wings, over 1,000 of them within the past 15 years. So they have extensive experience in order to minimize costs, to maximize procedures, and really make it, they've had some incredible jobs that we have looked for, and we looked at our other companies, and they just kept on rising and rising, and we decided to stick to them.
Okay. Our mayor would love us to create jobs in the city too, so maybe they can subcontract some of that. So one of the things you mentioned, a couple of you mentioned it, is improving our reputation. You seem pretty convinced that it will also result in greater sales, and I'm pretty skeptical about that. So are consumers actually buying companies, or are they taking the drugs that their doctors prescribe?
Consumers don't really look at whether Pfizer builds the brand, but when you promote a company that people look at and they say, well, they do a lot of charitable good, and they see it, and they see our commercial for Viagra. Instead of going to a different brand, they'll recognize our brand, and they'll associate that with giving back and strong corporate image, and we think that'll relate to people asking their doctor about our medication and kind of forcing their doctors or the doctors to promote our medicines because it does so much more good than just help the patient.
And also, we don't just make prescription drugs. We also develop things like chapstick, like Robitussin, that each household has in America. Probably 95% of households have used Robitussin for chapstick, so it's kind of known brands nationwide. So it's not just prescription drugs that you get from your doctor.
That's true. I guess my last question is more of an idea. I haven't talked about it with anyone, but got me thinking. This is a 10-year relationship. and drugs stay on patent for 10 years before they lose their exclusivity. And what do you think about, instead of having it, branding it Pfizer, because we're just a pharmaceutical corporation in the minds of so many people, but we brand it, we have a major obesity drug coming out in a year. What if we used that product name instead of the Pfizer name on these initiatives?
We could integrate it. I think there's a lot of opportunities to do it. I don't know how the public would react to seeing a pharmaceutical drug as the major sponsor to a marathon instead of a corporation, but there's a lot of opportunities, whether it's at the convention, we do a large presentation on it, or during each of the events, it's sponsored by, or somehow we integrate that, drug, and we build some awareness about it. I think that would be better suited for it than just putting the medicine right on the front logo.
Great, thank you.